Thanks for joining.
Yeah, of course.
Again, see, here's the thing, guys, is, I spend all this energy trying to find a spot, trying to meet up with people to record, trying to schedule everything, that whenever the rubber hits the road and we actually do start recording, I forget to press record.
See, that's why, like how you're saying before this, like you need to have that little checklist that you'll have. Like
Yeah.
you can either have it like on your phone or just like have it taped to each different camera or even the bag.
Just like honestly, just tape it to the podcast recorder and be like, make sure you press record, you idiot. You want to be in it?
I guess so.
Oh man. Well, we're out here. I guess I'll run through it here again. So we're out here, Shenandoah National Park, near Shenandoah National Park. We're not actually inside the park specifically. We're in a wildlife management area right outside the park. Park's about 50 yards that way, right over top of this ridge top, but we found this awesome overlook right here. And you see about 180 degrees in all directions, 50 miles or so. Absolutely epic. Blue Ridge Mountains.
Dude, there's nothing like Virginia. Like, I have my love-hate relationship with this place that I was telling you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The hills suck hiking, but you always get good views like this.
Yeah. This is probably one of the better views I've ever had on the East Coast.
Oh yeah, East Coast is tough to find them, but when you find them, they're great.
Yeah, just the mountains out here. You know why they call them the Blue Ridge Mountains?
Because the skies are blue, or if you look far enough, they look a little blue.
Yeah. You know why they look blue?
Isn't it like hazy? Like, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, you're probably smarter at this than I am.
I was looking into this because I was planning this trip. I was looking into it. So they call them the Blue Ridge Mountains because they look blue, first of all. But the blue comes from a chemical that oak trees and poplar trees, they like emit this chemical, like tints the sky blue.
That's kind of crazy.
Not the sky, but I guess like the trees, basically.
Honestly, I thought you were going to say like pollution or something. That's why they
Nope.
were blue.
Nope.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking sick.
Like, imagine this, like whenever fall comes, like all the leaves are starting to change. That would be beautiful out here.
Oh my gosh, man, dude, that's what I was saying is, I was saying that to Sammy. I was like, we got to come back here in the fall. It's probably so amazing. Whenever all the leaves are changing. Our campsite is down here in this valley, and you got just a perfect view of the park, like just like the mountain ridge lines, and the sun sets right behind the mountains, right in front of our campsite. It's pretty freaking gorgeous. But enough about the landscape. Let's talk about you. So, Marine boot camp to training to officer training, or well. You go ahead and explain. Go ahead and explain again, a little bit closer.
So, September 9th, I checked into Officer Candidate School, which is boot camp for officers. And my class was 10 weeks long. You're there. And I graduated that November 18th. And I had to immediately, right after graduation, I had to go over to the basic school, which is like a 20-minute drive. And we check in there. And since we had the holidays coming up, we got to have that like first week off, got to go home, see the family and all that, and then kick it right into training for that month in December, and then 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's. And now I'm getting ready to graduate that here at the end of June, the 28th. And from there, I'll move on to my MOS schooling, which is like my job schooling in a sense. And then I'll just go right into the fleet. So I'll be in charge of people.
Hell yeah.
It's so weird thinking about that. Like, I'm 22. You met me in college, and I was a degenerate. And now I have possibly like 40 people that'll be under me.
Yeah.
And they all have to call me sir.
Sir.
I'm still not used to it. Like, I have older, like, we have like the sergeant major of our thing. He's a really old dude, and he has to call me sir, and he has to like salute me. And it's the weirdest thing ever. I'm like, you're like almost 40 and you're saluting me.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Go to school, kids, get your degree.
Yeah. Then go to the Marines.
Yeah. Do you recommend?
I would. I mean, you learn a lot about yourself. 100%. Like, you'll have humbling moments, and you're gonna fail at something.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, if people are like, I never fail at everything, I'm good at everything I do, you'll get humbled real quick. Like, I've seen grown men cry because they've been failing. And, like, that's what they'll do. Like, they'll just exploit what you fail at and make you better at it. And teach you how to, like, correct it so you don't make that mistake again.
Yeah. What kind of mistakes are we talking about here? Like, what kind of failures? I know you're doing. We were talking as we were walking up here. We had a pretty intense hike coming up. Probably 2.5 miles bushwhacking for about 1.5 miles of it.
Yeah, you didn't want to stick on the trail, and then we found the trail we probably got off of.
Yeah. Hey, no, we don't follow trails around here. Anyway, so tell me about, what kind of training you guys are doing, what kind of failures you've experienced, and everything like that. Just go into detail.
So mainly it's a bunch of like leadership things. Like, you'll get put into what we call our billets. So like, you're in charge of like people at a certain time. And like, as you progress, so like at OCS, we would do what's called like SULI, so like small unit leadership evaluations. And like, you start out with a fire team, and it's like 4 people, give or take. And like, you have to give them an order and go execute that order. And as you progress, like, then you go to squads. And like, now we're doing, like, we still continue that in TBS, where you start with squads, but now like, we're doing the whole platoon level. So it's like a bunch of moving parts. You have to like really rely and have trust in the people below you, because like, you'll have leaders below you to disseminate the information, and like, you just have to give them like clear, concise the intent, and trust them that they're gonna meet it any way that they see fit. So they'll do that. That's one of the biggest things they look at, is the leadership aspect. But then there's physical events. Like I was telling you, we have to do a PFT. We had to do that one at the very beginning and the very end, and it's based out of 300. And then we have to do CFTs, which is a little bit more intensive. So you have to start out with an 880 meter sprint. And you have to do that for so far. And you're doing this in boots and utes, which is like our combat boots, our camo pants, and then just a t-shirt, our green t-shirt. And then following that, we have to do like ammo can presses. And then
full ammo cans?
Yeah, they're about 35 pounds. It's just one can just in the chest, pushing it up. And then we have to do like what's called a movement under fire. Yeah, maneuver under fire. So it's like a 300-yard in total little course. So like, you have to like sprint a little bit, do a J hook around a cone, low crawl to a cone, then high crawl like you're a little baby to another cone, and then you zigzag. And then there's a person there waiting at the end, so you have to drag them through the one zigzag, and then pick them up, and you have to fireman carry the whole way down. And then you have to pick up 2 ammo cans, run back, grab a grenade, throw it, do push-ups, and then run back with the ammo cans. So that one's a tough one. A lot of people struggle with that, mainly with the ammo can lift. Like, that thing sucks.
Yeah.
Like, you get tired easily, and you have 2 minutes just straight to like rep them out.
Oh yeah.
And then there's just different events, like here at TBS and OCS, I guess, we're given like written exams. OCS was a lot easier. It was harder because like, we had to get an 80% to pass. But they're all multiple choice. And like, it was like one of those easy multiple choice tests where like, those clearly aren't the answer, so it's got to be this one.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. And then now, like here at TBS, we do a little bit more complex ones. Like, it's a lot of knowledge-based things. Hey, buddy. I see you. It's a lot more knowledge-based, in-depth questions. And then at the end, they'll have like a written portion of it. And so they'll give us like a full like order, and like, we'll have to like type up something that they want. Then there's like the O course, E course. I was telling you, like, the E course, 5 miles for us here, and the multiple obstacles. I think there's like 14 obstacles throughout the way. And then the O course, we have to do a double O here, which sucks. I hate the O course. I will take the E course any day over the O course.
Okay.
Because it may be shorter to do the O course, but you absolutely get gassed the whole time. So like, that thing, like, there's a single bar, you have to roll over that thing, then jump over a log, jump onto a log, and go to what's called the combo. And so like there's like these bars that are like going down at a slant, so you have to grab them. You can either grab 2 bars and pull yourself up, or like crawl like a koala down single bar. And then there's a lot like logs there, so you can walk either just on 1 and get down, or go 2, and then you have to jump onto another log and roll over that. And then there's a series of high logs that you have to like keep jumping over the whole time. And then there's a double bar, so like you have to climb up, like it's like almost do like a mini pull up, get yourself up there, and then roll over it. And then you have like I think it's like 30 or 40 feet high ropes that you have to climb and touch the top, and you have to do that twice. So like you'll touch the top of the ropes, slide down, run back, and just do it all over again.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it probably gets you in good. It's probably a good workout.
Oh, it's a great workout. You're gassed for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like after I've done it, like I failed the first one because I couldn't get up the rope because I couldn't keep a break. So then I finally had to redo it. I did it in 4 minutes and 16 seconds, and like that's slow. Like we had dudes touching like 2:15. Like they're just absolute studs at it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Like you're always doing something. Like you're always moving. Like we barely have time to sit down because as soon as you sit down, like you're moving to the next thing.
Yeah.
So you find moments to sit, and it's just so nice.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So those are kind of like the physical things that you're working on, as well as like the tests and stuff. But like, what's like the real, like kind of like the real world experience? I know you're talking. You guys just got off a 10-day?
Yeah, 10-day field event.
10-day field event. Run me through that. What is that
So,
going on there?
like this is like our big culminating event, and we got out there last Tuesday, and we came back from the field on Wednesday. So like it's not really 10 days, but it's well over a week. We start out with mount, and so like that's military operations in urban terrain, because like they really want us to train in that and get us ready, because like all throughout like TBS they train you to be a provisionary rifle platoon commander. So like at any moment, like that's what's great about the Marines is you're trained how to shoot your weapon and do it well. And as an officer, you're trained to like if shit hits the fan, you can take over a rifle platoon and go do what needs to be done.
Okay.
So they train you throughout that the whole time. And so with Iraq just happening and Afghanistan,
the withdrawals.
Well, not so much the withdrawals, but like even things prior to that. So like you're working in urban terrains, buildings, and all that stuff. And
okay. I see.
Yeah, so they're training you how to like clear buildings and go on patrols throughout like little towns and villages. Like they had it all constructed, like it looks legit. Because they want you to get used to that and like train in that, because it was like a 70% mortality rate for like Marines operating in like that type of terrain for a while.
How long?
For most of it until later on. Like Fallujah was like the stepping stone. Like that's when they just wiped everybody out. And then they started getting better at it, but it was just unknown because you're working in a terrain we're not used to. Because like we're supposed to be like amphibious. Like so we come from a ship to a shore and leave. Like that's our job, is to set it up for other, like the army and whatnot, to set up a base. Yeah. So like we're working in the desert, and like that's out of our comfort zone. But like we made it work. Sadly, we withdrew after a deal. Didn't go too well. Yeah, and so they just have us work on that. We're just clearing houses for the first 4 days, and then we go to what's called war. And so like how I was telling you, like there's like 280 some in our company, and they like split it in half. So like it's 1st platoon, which I'm in, 3rd platoon and 5th platoon we're alpha group, and then 2nd, 4th, and 6th they're Bravo group. So it was head to head. Like we had majority free range. Like it was scripted. Like they basically tell you what to do, and like they kind of guide you, but like there was a lot more decision space for us to make. Okay. And like if you were a leader, like you were making plans, disseminating it down, and it was a big game of just like hide and seek. So like you try to find them and then pop shots. Like we're just using blanks at this point, so like you can pop shots at them within a certain distance. And if you would die notionally, like you'd get painted dead, you'd get carried off to what we call zombie land, which is to like reference like if you lose somebody in combat, you're gonna get somebody that's fresh out of like he's gonna get shipped there and be fresh out of the gate. So like that's what they do with Zombieland. Like you get there, you don't have to really do anything. Like there's fresh-ish water that you can drink out of, and you can eat, sleep. Like it's relaxed just to get you ready to go back out there. Like as soon as like you're 24 hours up there, you're getting shipped back in.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it was just walking around the woods trying to find them, and we when Monday I think it was, we had a full company attack. Like so, Bravo group was set up in like a defense, so like they had holes dug, and our student commander, he was like, all right, we're gonna go company online. So it was 2 platoons plus another platoon over here just pushing straight at them like some World War II shit. And of course my squad, we got wiped, so we went to Zombieland. It was fun. They forgot about us. Like it was thick as can be to try to get through there, and our commander made a bad mistake of like he gave too early of a warning because he thought they were in this area. And so we threw, like, all of us threw our smoke grenades before that. Well, the enemy is all the way over here, like 300 meters away. So they saw us throwing the smoke, so they all set up, and they're like, easy day. We know where they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so we ended up coming. Me and my whole squad walked right into a machine gun, and we all got wiped, and that was not fun. But then I got to go to Zombieland, which was fun. And then as soon as we got back, we were back in Mountain Town, what we call it. So we're operating this town, different platoons in different buildings, trying to set up a defense for an attack that's going to come Wednesday. And that was probably my favorite thing we've done so far, because my squad and my platoon in general, like, we're the redheaded stepchildren. Like, we always get made fun of, but whenever it's game time, we go. Like, we're degenerates and shitbags, but as soon as it's game time, we get after it and we kill it. So that was my squad's mission, was to do not anything our commander said, but our platoon commander was like, you guys have free reign. So there was this one building beside ours that had a tunnel system. So as soon as the enemy started attacking and started getting in those buildings, we were going to go through that tunnel system and come behind and like back clear them because they wouldn't be ready for that. But they notionally blew up that building, so we couldn't get to it. So our next thing was, we're running through the woods. So we like go out 3 people at a time, and there's I think 9 of us. So we run 3 sticks out, and we're in the tree line, and we start seeing the enemy coming up. They're pushing. We're like, hold up, wait, we're gonna need more people. Our captain, he saw us running to the woods, and he's like, oh, what's going on here? And he just sprints over because he has to paint the people dead if we get them. And he was like, establish your sectors, and I will kill everybody within those sectors. And we're like, we're not tipping our hand yet. So we let more people come up, and I think we got like 15. Like there was 15 people, and we all lit them up, and then we just kept running around. And they had this one. They started entering buildings. So we cleared the first building, and then we start going to the second one. Next thing you know, they popped CS gas. So we're all just getting gassed. So we had to run back into the tree line. Hurry
Is
up.
that kind of like tear gas?
In a sense, yeah. Like it burns your skin, like makes your eyes really water, and you start coughing, like your throat's on fire. But we had gas masks, and so like we hurry up, run to the tree line, put it on, and, like your sweat is reacting with it, so like you're burning all throughout your neck.
Oh yeah.
And we finally find our squad leader, who's like sick, and so like being sick, your sinus is jacked up. Like it helps clear you up, but like you're throwing it up.
Yeah.
So we finally find him. He's like 50 meters back in the woods. Just spit and snot coming out of his face. And we're like, dude, we got to get going. He's like, give me a second. We're like, what are we doing? He says, I don't know yet. And he's just like, puts his gas mask on. He's like, follow me. And we just keep running around in the woods, coming behind the enemy. And there's these 2 buildings with like a wall in between. And we saw the enemy on the other side. So we just like pop our heads up, pop shots, knock them all down, and then hop over the wall. Well, what we didn't see was there was somebody hidden around a corner. So 4 people go, they get schwacked. This girl, Yamis, she's about 5'1", absolute feral female, in the woods, and it's great. Like, she's amazing. She always has snacks for us, and like, she's like our field mom. It's great. But she turns the corner, lights him up. It was great. She saved me and then another dude with us. So at this point, we have 3 people now. And Koa. So then we get going, and we're just running around the whole city, just coming behind people, lighting them up. And by the time we were getting ready to start moving to the building we were at, prior to running in the woods, but one of my buddies got notionally shot in the leg, and so I had to pull him back and put a tourniquet on him. Mind you, like with CS gas, like I wear contacts. Can't wear contacts. They'll like melt to your eyes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like I had to bring like I was wearing my glasses the whole time in the field because we didn't know when we were getting gassed. And so like as soon as the gas hit, I put them in my pocket, and I just had my gas mask on. I'm just following everybody. I'm like, paint me a picture because I can't see shit right now.
Yeah.
So I hurry up, pull him back, and I had one of the sergeants. He was counting me down to put the tourniquet on. Like I started with 59 seconds, and I couldn't get the Velcro undone because it was a janky tourniquet. So like I just started wrapping it like you're getting ready to tie your shoes. I just kept wrapping it in between. And if I would have done it one more time, I would have saved the leg and we would have been carried on, but I let him die in my hands, so it was a sad day.
Yeah.
But I took his rounds, and then me and the girl, Yamis, we carried on with the mission, and we're just running behind, and right before we're about to push to the building that they're mainly taking over, they called ceasefire green, so like we had to stop. But we were the only 2 left of our squad that survived that whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, I think like in total, we probably got 40 bodies as a squad.
Damn.
Yeah, we were lighting people up. They were not ready for people coming from the woods.
That's pretty crazy, dude. So how does that? You're dealing with? Sit back, relax, bud.
I'm getting there. All right,
so I'm sure you got people that are training you that are veterans, combat veterans. Been to war before? Is that
some? It depends on like what rank they are. Like a couple of them were in like Afghanistan and were there whenever they withdrew. But since that, like they've gone, like everybody's gone on deployments that we've worked with. But like they're just like a lot of humanitarian things and just like special trainings where you're like working with other groups.
okay?
And so like nobody's really like, a few people have seen combat, but not too much. They've just had experience with a lot of people who have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a big ass fly.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking epic. You know, the stuff that you guys are doing. That's I hesitate to say cool because like, you know, it's war and everything. But it's like, I think, at least from an outside perspective, someone that is not in the military, it seems like it's good training. Like going against your own team, because you know I feel like the U.S. is pretty advanced with their military training. Would you agree with that?
I would for the Marine Corps. Like you have other branches, they don't do as much. Because like what sucks, like how I was telling you, like all of us are trained to use a rifle. Like with the Army, you only get to learn how to use a rifle if like you're infantry. So like
really?
Yeah, so like a lot of people don't know how to use a weapon or like be able to effectively employ that weapon unless they're within the infantry. So like that's what's nice about the Marines is like every year you have to qualify with your rifle to show you can shoot, and like you'll get a badge. And yeah, that's nice. Like I love the training that we do, but it comes at a cost. Like we do about 10% cool things. 90% just sucks. Like you just do dumb stuff that you don't want to do, and it just sucks.
You think it's beneficial though? The stuff that's the stuff that sucks.
It does. Like in the moment, you're just like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. But then you're out in the field whenever it actually matters, and you're like, oh, that makes sense now. I see why they were teaching us. I wish I would have paid more attention instead of looking at just drawing squigglies in my notebook.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's a lot, man. And just the stakes are so high with that kind of stuff, especially with, you know, moving forward within the military, and world's pretty scary now.
Yeah, it's
There's a lot
getting
going
real.
on.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflicts that we could go to. So like we're trying our best to train with whatever.
Yeah.
But like, what's the scariest thing is how much blue on blue we've had. So like that's when you shoot friendly.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
thank God we have blanks, because especially at night, it's so bad. So like we use these old night visions. They're called the PVS 14, and they're from like the 1970s.
Really.
They're old. They're reliable. Like,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. If you have good aluminum, like as soon as it gets below like 50% aluminum, it's hard to see.
And that's battery life. Or?
No, that's the moon. So like your
Oh.
moonlight
Oh.
is
okay.
how much you're able to see. So like it doesn't. It's not a thermal. So like it has to use light
Yeah.
to be able to like make you see at night.
Yeah.
And if you have no light, you can't see at night.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens if it's like cloudy or something? You just can't see.
No, you can't. Like you're just hoping for the best. Like you can see a little bit, but you're just hoping the person in front of you doesn't run into something or step on a log because you're gonna hit that. Like you're
Yeah.
mainly relying on the person in front of you
Mm-hmm.
to make your way. Yeah.
Damn. And you'd think that they'd invest in a little bit better equipment.
Yeah, but those things are like a lot of money. Like they're a couple $1,000s each.
Yeah. How much is your get up? Just in total, like from foot to head to foot.
Well, like these boots here. I know I broke my boots, like boot laces the other day. But like these were like $250, and like we have to pay for these ones if you want nice boots.
Yeah.
And then whenever we got our whole gear issued, like camis and all, it was like $500.
Yeah.
And that was like at OCS, and like we kept most of that stuff carrying on. Then like there's radios that we use are like $20,000,
Mm-hmm.
and they're old as can be, but they do work every once in a while, especially if you have people that know how to use them. Of course, you have like our M16s, and then after we do rifle qual, what's cool is like a bunch of like our top shooters in each like fire team for your squad will get the new M27. So it can go like fully automatic. It's like phase out like medium machine guns,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a little bit lighter than them. It's still heavier than your classic AR.
Okay.
But it comes with a bipod, and it does a whole lot of things. Like it comes with a nice scope, a little RMR red dot sight on top, so it's perfect for like clearing houses, and it's just a nice gun whenever it comes to shooting, especially live rounds, because like every once in a while we'll do live shoots, and it's just a great gun to use.
That's
way better than like your M16 and M4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of money that they let us do with.
I'm sure, man. I'm sure it. But it's well worth the investment. I think keeping us safe out there. So I was talking about the world being a shit show at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next after you get through? Well, I guess you kind of talked about your training right now. Are you going into any training after this?
Yeah, so I got my orders to go to 2nd Battalion, 2nd Mall, which is like Marine Air Wing, down in Cherry Point, North Carolina.
Okay.
And
Wait, so last time we were talking, you said that you had a couple options. Did they pick one of the options?
Yeah, so like it's whatever the Marine Corps needs at the time. Like
Okay.
you can have your preferences, and like I really wanted Hawaii.
Yeah.
Nope, I got North Carolina.
Yeah.
Like it's
Was
no
that your
question.
last choice?
It was my last
Dude,
choice.
I hear that they always go with your last choice.
Well, not always. Good bit. So like, I had Hawaii as my number 1. I had West Coast as my number 2, and then I had overseas as my number 3, and then East Coast as my number 4. Well, with my MOS that I got, they closed the like unit over in Okinawa, which is in Japan.
Mhm.
So then that was automatically off the table. So then I was just dealing with Hawaii, West Coast, or East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah. So right after I graduate, I'm gonna take leave, which is just like time off.
Yeah.
Like I've acquired like time off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take like a week leave. I think me and the lady are gonna go up to Maine.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, and then as soon as I come back, I'm gonna go straight down to North Carolina, look at
Mhm.
apartments with one of my buddies in my platoon, and
The lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyer, great guy. He's an old head. I love him. We get paid. What's nice about being an officer is like we get paid to like have a house.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna make around like 1,700. I'm gonna make just under 1,600 just for housing.
That's like a monthly
Yeah,
stipend?
a monthly stipend that goes straight into housing.
Really? So can you use that for other things, or is it
Oh, yeah.
solely okay?
Like that's why like we're gonna room together
Mm-hmm.
because like we're looking at places like 1,500 to 1,800. So we're each gonna pocket a couple $100.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Mhm.
1,700, that's my mortgage.
Yeah, like it's nice.
That is really nice.
So yeah, and then I have my schooling. I check into out in 29 Palms, California, so like the desert out there.
Mhm.
I check in there September 20th. So like until then, like I'm just down there with my unit, just like doing on the job training.
September 20th. Okay.
Yeah, that's when I leave to go to California.
Okay.
Well, that's when I have to check into California.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so like after we graduate the 28th, taking that first week off of July and celebrating being with the family and the lady, and then going down to North Carolina until I have to go to my schooling. Because then after my schooling, then I'll come back to my unit and actually be an officer
Okay.
in charge of people.
Yeah. And what are you doing in North Carolina?
So my MOS, like I was telling you, like we got us ground contracts had like a preference list, and so like I put all my preferences in there, and I got my number 3, which was low altitude air defense.
Okay.
So like if anything flies too low or too close, I tell my Marines, hey, go shoot that thing down.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Like we'll get attached to like infantry units every once in a while. So we do go out into the field because I enjoy being out in the field. Like it's nice. Like you see the weather around here. Like it sucks at times, but
I mean, dude, right now it's noon. It's dead noon, and we're sitting in a bed of rocks
yeah,
in the sun, and it's like perfect.
yeah.
It's like perfect temperature. I mean, it was hot walking up.
Oh, especially
I
that second steep one. Oh, I was dying.
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot walking up, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice here now.
Oh yeah.
We're chilling. So yeah, I mean the weather here is gorgeous, especially
Yeah.
in the summer. I mean, I feel like here compared to Pennsylvania, it's a little bit more mild, more longer in the year. Earlier, it gets warmer earlier. It stays warmer later.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And like, how I always felt like PA, it would like have like moments where like it'd be summer, but then it's really cold. Like here, you usually consistently like if it's warm, it's gonna stay warm until like it's like starts raining, and then it'll be like a little bit colder. You still have humidity, which like I'm used to it since being from PA. And then just at nights, it'll be nice and cool and relaxing. Like you'll just sleep under the stars, and it's so nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of sleeping under the stars, what does your guys' training look like overnight? Like overnight, if you just had that 10-day little stint out in the woods, what's in your pack? Tell me, break down for me what's in your pack first.
So like we have packing lists. I don't abide by the packing list. I pack what I need and what I want. So I made this one mistake one time. So I bring a whoopee, which is like a blanket that zips up into like a sleeping bag. So
Wool or
no, it's
synthetic?
It's that synthetic stuff.
Okay.
Like it's real nice. So I'll bring that out because I made the mistake one time in the field where like it was supposed to be warm out and I didn't want to carry it because it was extra weight. So I brought that. I didn't bring that or any warming layers. And so, like, I'm just sleeping under a tarp and it gets freezing cold. And I was so sad. But, yeah, so, like, I had my whoopee. I brought my buffalo top, which is, like, a fleece jacket to wear at night.
Okay.
Brought sweatpants that I didn't wear. Brought extra underwear, extra socks. I did bring extra shirts, but I didn't wear the shirts. Like, I didn't wear a shirt the whole time we were out there. Yeah. Until I went to Zombieland and, like, I was just rocking boots and utes. Then, like, we had to pack our Kevlar, which is, like, our helmet. We had to wear a gas mask. I had a map with me. Some, what are they called? Baby wipes. I brought baby wipes to clean the face and every hygiene area you can think of. Brought out like my toothbrush, toothpaste. Had to bring out razors because they get very mad if you have beards in the field.
Really, even if you're way back in the woods.
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
you have to shave, and like our SBC will like yell at us and say you're not allowed to get on the bus and go home until everybody has a fully shaven face.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man.
So I bring all that stuff. I'll bring 2 canteens of water, and we have a Camelback of water, and like a bunch of snacks. Like I'll bring MREs, but I bring a bunch of snacks. Like what did I bring? I brought 2 bags of beef jerky, 2 pounds of trail mix, 2 like the big like family shareable size of Sour Patch Kids. Like I brought
Hell
the
yeah.
strawberry ones and the watermelon ones.
Hell yeah.
You
You didn't bring any of those today, did you?
I do have like Sour Patch Kids in my bag if you want some.
Man, we might have to break into those before we start hiking,
Oh,
hiking back.
I can. I have Sour Patch Kids and some Swedish Fish. Like
Hell
these
yeah.
little baggies.
Okay.
I'll bring a couple MREs because they have snacks in them too every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I think I brought a log of summer sausage,
Mhm.
which was so good.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I brought 5 tins of Zins, and I went through those so quick. Like you have to have nicotine out there. Like it's great.
Keeps you in the zone.
Well, especially because like you don't like they say like chow is continuous, so like you can eat any chance you have, but you don't get those chances often. So like for me, like I'm hungry, I'm gonna throw a Zin in because I don't have time to eat.
Yep.
And then I'll eat later in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like my average packing list.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you're just shelters, just a tarp.
Sometimes like
Yeah.
whenever we were out there, I got to sleep in a building for the first 4 days. Then after that, like we're sleeping in the woods, and like we have an ISO mat, which is just to like so the ground doesn't make you cold.
Okay.
It's not comfy at all. Like it literally feels like you're laying on these rocks.
Wait, it's like that little like the grit like this right here.
No, think of kind of like it's the same concept. It's like tan. It's really hard, and like it just folds up like a zigzag.
Yeah.
Like a what's that? What's that thing?
Xylophone.
No.
No, oh crap!
Like
I know
the
what you're talking
keyboards and like you squish them.
about. Oh man,
What is that called?
it's a. Oh my gosh, I forget.
Yeah, I do too.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, so it's like that. And you just like lay it out on the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
And if it's warm out, you don't sleep under anything because like a lot of times we don't have the opportunity to make a tent.
Yeah, it's like
so-
this, right here.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not as soft as that.
Okay,
Yeah.
just hard.
Yeah.
Oh, Cole, you're laying down, buddy. I'm sorry. I disturbed you.
Yeah, it does the job. And so like if it does start getting cooler, I'll sleep in my whoopee, and like I'll take my blouse and my pants off and use them as a pillow, and then just wear my buffalo top and like not have any socks on, just letting the dogs air out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm sure you need to after
yeah.
hiking for all day, and then
Yeah.
you got any special kind of socks or just like elites, just Nikes or?
No, like I wear boot socks, so I don't know what kind these are.
Uh-huh.
I think Fox River. They're nice. I like them a lot. I usually go with thicker socks when I'm moving a lot.
Yeah.
Because it adds cushion and I don't feel like my feet rub as raw. But like the con to that is my feet get hotter.
Mm-hmm.
So then like blisters can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I use whenever I'm out in the woods, I'm usually rocking some merino kind of socks, like wool. They're merino wool. They usually like medium rise or whatever. They're pretty nice, pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
The nice thing about them is they dry out so freaking fast. So fast. And like wet socks are just an absolute killer. Wet socks, wet feet whenever it's cold, you know?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you're
it's
well
bad.
aware.
Yeah. Like, that's why every once in a while, like if we're doing like water things, like I remember the first time like field event we had at TBS was FEX 0. So like a FEX is like a field exercise. So like it was like a bunch of classes out in the woods, like learning about stuff, like how to cam and con your stuff. And at the end of it, it was just 2 days. So like it was like 2 nights in the field or like 1 night in the field. I honestly forget. But it wasn't long. And before the last day, we had to do a pond crossing. So like we had to waterproof all of our stuff in our bags. Like we have waterproofing bags. And our packs will float, which is nice. So like you throw them and like your frame will be like up.
Yeah.
And so like we had to push that across the water, freezing cold. Like this is like end of November, December area.
Oh,
like,
damn.
It's freezing.
Yeah.
And like you couldn't leave the water until you got your pack on your back. And it's like we're walking through and like I couldn't get my pack on my back. Like I'm down on my knees just trying to throw it on my back. And I finally got it and I just crawled my way out.
Yeah.
Like everybody's packs are jacked up because like you really don't know how to like pack a pack yet.
Uh-huh.
And so like we're just doing a warming circle. Like like as people are coming out, like our platoon's just doing laps in the parking lot that was beside it.
Mm-hmm.
And like we finally hiked back and we had to do a wet to dry drill. So we had to bring extra camis and extra boots. So as soon as like we got back, we changed into like dry camis, dry socks, dry boots. And we had some people, Yamas, I was telling you about her earlier.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to listen to us. So she was like, I'm going to hang my clothes up here on this tree and they're going to dry. I'm like, no, they're going to freeze tonight.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, they won't. They'll be fine. Well, we get woken up at, I think it was midnight that night to arty sims, which are just little grenade things that just make a loud boom. Our captain and SBC, our EWI, which is a sergeant, they're just throwing them at us to wake us up and get us moving. Her clothes are froze right on the tree instantly. Like they were all hard as a rock. And, like you just had to hurry up and stuff your things in your pack and then get going.
Yeah.
Then we had a 3-mile hike after that, and that wasn't fun. We dropped a lot of bodies. Thank God they had a safety Vic behind. And it was like we were right beside base, so like it wasn't bad.
Yeah. It's intense
Yeah.
for sure. What kind of terrain? What kind of terrain you camping in? How far away from like roads and trail? Like, are you guys navigating trails, or are you just like bushwhacking it?
We're bushwhacking it a lot more
I
times
figured,
than not.
yeah.
Like we just have our map. You're like, hey, this looks like a good idea, and we're here. And like we have like what's called a dagger, which like can plot like your points. Like it uses the satellite and like gives you like a 8 to 10 digit grid.
Yeah.
And so like, all right, we're here. We need to go here. I'm gonna use my protractor. I'm gonna see how far it is. Got to see what angle it is, so I know how to use my compass. And like you'll have a point man who's just only looking at his compass, making sure you're going the right way. And you'll have a pace counter, so you have to count like every 2 steps is one step basically.
Okay.
And they'll be counting, and they know their own. Like for me, like on average, it takes me about 69 paces is 100 meters.
Okay.
So like
Nice.
they yeah, that's what I thought. It was awesome. So like you get that, and like your pace counter is just like, hey, we're at like 200. Hey, we're at 300. We're about there in about 50 meters and like stuff like that.
Okay.
Usually we try to like stay away from roads because like we're in the tactical scenario, so like it's easy to be seen. You don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
So like you find the hardest places you think people won't go and just hide and seek it out.
Yep. Probably run into a lot of wildlife.
Yeah, whenever we were doing offense and defense, we were in the defense, so like we had to dig a bunch of holes. Well, I didn't because I was like the platoon sergeant. I was in a billet, so like, I was basically telling everybody to dig holes.
Okay.
But we killed 2 or 3 snakes.
Oh yeah.
And that like snakes were just starting to come out. We were vibing with them.
Nice, man.
You'll see deer every once in a while, and like now tick season starting to come out. So that's not bad. Like it sucks. Like that's why you always have a buddy check you. Yeah, that's about it. Like you'll see deer, turkeys. We did hear. Oh my, this was one of the scariest moments of my life. That was the last day of our offense. So it's like we just did a night attack. It's about like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night now, almost midnight. And we had to go move our like little PB, which is like where we sleep at.
Okay.
So we were all moving that after the attacks. We had a next attack, like, I think it was like no earlier than 8 a.m. So we had to move. And we ended up getting, like, we had to sleep in this trench that night. But, like I was telling you about the Illume, it was 0. And so, like, we couldn't find our way through the woods. After they did a little recon and found out where we were going to go, they staged 2 people there. And our platoon commander at the time came back I was like, hey, follow me. We're gonna go this way. And so we're walking through the woods. Can't find where he wanted to go. Like, he gets lost. Next thing you know, we just start hearing like this screaming. I shit you not. There was like a bobcat somewhere out there just screeching at the top of its lungs.
Mm-hmm.
It was so terrifying because like we can't see. We have blank rounds, so like it's not like it's gonna do anything except for scare it.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yep. Bobcats, man, they sound like a witch screaming.
Yeah, 100%. Like, people didn't believe me, and I was like, okay, go home. Like, whenever we finally got back, I was like, go on YouTube and look up a bobcat or a mountain lion scream.
Yeah, yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, they're scary, man. They're freaking scary.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a couple of them before, and one time it was at night, and dude, nothing makes you feel more scared of the dark than a bobcat screeching like that. My leg's falling asleep sitting on these rocks.
Are you gonna start bringing lights out whenever you go out at night now? I saw that little snippet of you getting almost lost in the woods because you didn't feel like bringing a light.
Yeah, dude. So that's actually freaking hilarious because I wasn't expecting to be out that long. I usually have a light with me, but one thing led to another. Almost got stuck in the park, and yeah, I had to bike my ass back home. That shit was scary, man. Being on the trail with no light.
I believe it.
No moon.
Yeah.
No moonlight. I was in the woods too, so even if there was moonlight, it was like you weren't going to be able to see anything.
Like, how are you? Like, was it at least a trail?
Oh yeah, it was like a gravel trail.
Okay.
So it wasn't. I wasn't like just like in the bush.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
That's
on
a
a
little
trail.
bit better then.
Mm-hmm. Although the thing that I was concerned about, I was like, dude, if I see someone, like they're obviously deranged
Yeah.
because I'm out here, so they're obviously crazy.
Yes.
But so what's next, man? After your training, after you're done in California?
Then
what's
I'm in
after
charge
that?
of people. Like,
Yeah.
I get to be in charge of maybe like 40 people.
But do you know like where you're going?
Yeah, I'll be in Cherry Point.
Okay.
Yeah,
North
so I'll be
Carolina.
stationed down there.
Okay.
I'm looking at houses down in New Bern. Like, that's where my brother used to live, and it was a really nice little old-timey city.
Cool.
So it's not bad.
Mhm.
It's like a 35, 45-minute drive to the base every
Yep.
morning. Like, it's not bad. I'll just be there for 3 years, like 36 months I have to be there.
Mhm.
And then they'll station me somewhere else if I decide to stay in, which I probably will, because like, it's a cool job. If it
Yeah.
wasn't a cool job, I'd fall back on my degree.
Mhm.
But I think I'll like it, and so like they'll either keep me there, like send me to another base, and I have to go on at least one deployment, which won't be bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I'll just be chilling down in North Carolina for a couple years.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. Well, you met Jack Shirk? Jack Shirk? He played baseball at UPJ.
I think he graduated the year before I got there.
Yeah, he's down in North Carolina, I think, in western North Carolina.
Mhm.
So he's like Tennessee, North Carolina area.
Got you.
Does a lot of fishing and stuff, but
I thought he was the one out in Colorado.
he used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to be, then he moved.
I remember you and Bill telling me stories about him.
Good guy.
Wasn't he the one that double birded Clarion?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, but very good, dude. That's a beautiful area. You're going to be near the coast, though, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm right on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm. Near the beach?
It's about 45-minute drive.
45 minutes? That's not
Yeah,
too bad.
Emerald Isle ain't too far. It's like an hour or two away. Which
Cool.
ain't bad.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, so you're saying 3 years. 3 years there. What happens if like we get into some sort of conflict or whatever, and we got to send people out there?
Yeah, so like I would get deployed most likely.
Mm-hmm.
They do like a lot of rotation based things.
Okay.
So like that's why we sent out what's called like a MU, like Marine Expeditionary Unit. So like it's a big boat, like you're on the boat with the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just riding around the water. So like if shit pops off, like you have a force like ready to go.
Yeah.
So like we always have boats out in the water. Like we had I think we have one up in the Israeli area right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just if shit goes down, they need help.
Yeah.
We have a lot. Like each base has like a a couple mews, and like they're in rotation. So like one will go out and then the next one will go out.
Okay.
But then like if shit were to pop off and we were starting to get deployed, I don't know if we'd get flown in or if we'd stay on a boat and then like do what we need from there, and we'd get like flown in on a helicopter or something. But yeah, we'd end up at a base and just work out of there and just have fun with the boys.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's crazy. What is the train like? You say you're responsible for like 40 so people or whatever.
Yep.
You know, whenever you're down in North Carolina, are you responsible for training? You're responsible for running training exercises.
Yeah.
Like, what's like the general like day-to-day operation of someone in your position, and then also someone that you're overseeing
So
during that time?
it depends on like what your command wants you to do. So like they give you an intent and like you have to meet that, but you also have to train your boys and ladies. So you have to build out a timeline, fill the blocks with what you want to do. Like say you want to do like a range, you have to get that cleared like months prior to even doing the range. Set up like different classes, give blocks for your Marines to like learn, have their own time to like class. You have to give them time to eat, and then that all has to get approved. And then what I will do is like I'll give them a brief, mainly like my squad leaders and like my platoon sergeant. I'll give them like, hey, this is what's gonna happen. Make it happen.
Okay.
Like I'll walk around and like check in every once in a while, make sure they're doing the right thing. But at that point, like it's like that decentralized command. So like I'm relying on my small unit leaders to get the action, because like I put them in charge and like I can change their job. Like I can make them just a normal person in the like squad instead of being like a squad leader, like a fire team leader. So like I have that control, and like I have to have that trust in them. They have to have the trust in me to be able to do that and meet the intent. And then who helps facilitate that would be my platoon sergeant, who is usually like a staff sergeant, so he's well versed in the Marine Corps. He knows the job very well, and he's the one that's gonna blast the people if they're doing the wrong thing. Like me as an officer, like I'm allowed to be like disappointed, but like I should never like yell and like cuss out a Marine unless they really jack up. Like that's my platoon sergeant's job. Like he's gonna be the one who's gonna say enlisted things to enlisted Marines. Yeah, and it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How many people is he overlooking? Like, is he overlooking like your team and then other?
It's the whole platoon. Like he'll look over the whole platoon. So like it'd be me as the platoon commander, and then my platoon sergeant's like left and abreast. Like he's right there with me, right hand man. Like we're doing everything together. And then you'll have 3 squads. They'll each have like a squad leader, and they're about like 16 people, give or take, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
And like every like squad will have 3 fire teams. So like that's a basis of like 3 to like 6 people per fire team, and they'll have fire team leaders. So like I'm in charge of like the platoon sergeant, and I'll tell the squad leaders what to do, and the squad leaders will tell the fire team leaders what to do, and the fire team leaders will make sure that their Marines do that while being overlooked. And making sure that everything's getting done.
Okay. Are you choosing squad leaders? Do you have any say in that in the matter?
Yeah, I will. As soon as I get to my unit, like I'll have like counseling, so like just one-on-ones, get to know my Marines. Like I'll have a big speech, and I'm not gonna write it down. I'm just gonna free ball it and hope it works for the best.
Hey man, that's what's best. That's what's
100%. It comes from the heart that way.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
So I would do that, and there's usually like I'm replacing somebody. Like there was already a second lieutenant there, and I'm taking over. So like they've been in the unit and they have their own shit, and like people do their own thing, and that's because that's how they've done it. And I go in there, and if I don't like it, I change it.
Okay.
Like if somebody's lacking and they're just there because they're the most senior, but they're giving half-ass effort, like no, you're not gonna stick. You're gonna get replaced.
Yeah.
And some people don't like that, but oh well. Like you just got to do what works the best. Yeah, just like being there, observing, learning, and just seeing how it's done. I'll have a lot of input from my platoon sergeant, because he's able to have conversations more in depth. Because a lot of like enlisted Marines don't like talking to officers.
Okay.
So like you have to rely on your platoon sergeant heavily, and make sure like you have trust in them and they have trust in you, and you have to earn that a lot of times, and then they're okay. Like Marines like being challenged. So like be like, hey, I don't think you're doing the best right now. You are going to go back and we're going to have so and so take over for you, but you still need to work hard and then get back at it. And he's like, all right, fuck this guy. Like, I'm going to be back there. Like, that's my job.
Yeah.
I'm going to grind and I'm going to get it done.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I'm in charge of that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, honestly, like a lot of paperwork is like
I'm
what
sure.
it'll come down to.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably crazy.
Like I'll have to be like sitting in an office doing a bunch of paperwork, and like I have to do like fit reps, which are like fitness reports, to like help Marines get like promoted or even get like kicked out.
Oh, really?
Like I have a lot more power than I thought I would. Like if somebody's like jacking off, and then I can NJP them, and like if you keep, it's a non-judicial punishment, so I can keep hitting them with that, and like even get it to the point where like withholding their pay.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. Like it sucks. Like it comes with a lot of like weight on your shoulders. Like especially me being 22, like degenerate in college. Got an engineering degree because I made a lot of good friends who helped me along the way, and now I'm getting ready to be in charge of people who've been in the Marine Corps. Like they could be younger than me, and a lot of them are probably going to be older than me.
You excited? Looking forward to it? Looking forward to the challenge? I'm sure it's a lot, but man, I mean, that's, you know, progressed so much and, you know, learned a lot of shit.
Yeah, like it's going to be fun. Like it's nerve-wracking, but like as they like always tell us, like all of our captains are like, you're going to love your Marines.
Yeah.
Like it's literally a family.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to build that unit and keep that home stable. So like it'll be nervous until I get to know them.
Okay.
Yeah. And once I earn their trust and respect, then
that makes sense.
easy day.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You're doing it, brother.
Yeah,
You're
I don't
doing
know
it.
how. Like each day you just roll over and you're just like, damn, I'm still here. Like I got to do the thing again.
Yep. Just keep on keeping on, man. That's awesome. You know, we can kind of wrap things up here. I'm kind of enjoy the view while we're up here.
This is a great view.
Take some time and just relax. But I really appreciate you coming out here.
Dude, I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. Yeah, well, hopefully whenever you're down in North Carolina, you got some time off you can take on the weekends, can you?
Yeah, I'll have like every weekend off.
Yeah.
Like that's how I do here. Yeah, I get every weekends off, and like whenever it's holidays, like I can get like a 72 or a 96, which is like extra days off.
Okay.
I'll add it onto the weekend.
Cool.
And yeah, like I have like a certain radius I can have to stay within unless I request like special liberty.
Well, the good thing is North Carolina is a pretty cool state, especially where you're at.
Yeah,
So,
it's not bad. Not far from waters. They do like the city we're looking at. Since my brother lived there, they like, would have like a fishing competition there.
Yeah.
And like he said that the one time, like all these big ass boats are just showing up. And Michael Jordan's boat pulled up.
Marlin contests.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that in Ocean City too, the White Marlin Open.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's big. Like I wouldn't mind doing that.
That would be cool.
Like,
Doing some fishing for some white marlin.
Yeah, like I don't want to buy a boat. Like I want to buy a boat. It's a lot of money, a lot of upkeeping, a lot of permits and all that stuff. So like it's easier just to charter. Like just pay somebody. He knows what he's doing, and we just go out and catch a lot of fish.
Yeah,
and
just have
bring
fun.
them home. Yeah,
That's-
it'd be the move.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's we went on a charter this past summer, and caught some nice ass fish. Some were they oh crap. No, I forget. I forget what they are. There was one big. It was a king something.
Not a king cobra.
Definitely not a king cobra. No, it's some laser slime dart laser.
Oh, like, does it have like little stripes on it and like a little skinny guy looking thing? Like
They're pretty skinny.
Yeah, like a needle almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were delicious.
I believe it.
They were delicious. Not barracuda, not nothing like that. I'll have to take a look at the name, but yeah, man, I'll be down visiting North Carolina.
Oh, please do. Like I have my kayak and that thing's gonna stay strapped on my car.
You riding up here? I was like, you planning on doing some kayaking this weekend?
I mean, like I always have it. Like I haven't. Like I just got my tags for it, and like there's a lot of like places to go in Virginia. Like down south more, they have like the record for catfish, and like I may have just been like drunk when I saw this, but like the state record is like 90 some pounds.
Oh yeah.
Like that's massive for a catfish.
Big.
I think it's like in like James River or something like that.
Okay.
It's not too far down
Okay.
south. I think it's like 60 miles, so
Yeah.
like just north of Richmond.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, Koa didn't like that camera angle.
I did not like that. He's chewing it up. All right, man. Well, let's wrap it up
Let's
here.
get after
Appreciate it. Well, we got a nice hike back, but man, you cannot beat the view.
No, and it's downhill on the way back mostly.
Mostly downhill.
So that's gonna be so nice.
All right, man.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, brother.